Hey, welcome back to the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. And if you love college football, you're definitely in the right place. So before you forget and before we get started, please hit that subscriber button if you have not done so already. Like our videos and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. Big day today around the world, around the country in college football. Had a couple of upsets, and we are looking at another week where TCU was down. Well, this time they were down 18 points to Kansas State in their own house, and as of right now, they are now up 10. They have scored 28 unanswered points, and looks like they're going to remain undefeated. We will keep you updated on that one. The biggest game for Big 12 fans probably today was the first one of the day, Texas at Oklahoma State. It was kind of watching this game. I'm going to be letting a friend of mine get in here in just a few minutes, and old Robert Jager, he's going to be coming in and talking with us a little bit as well. There's actually 10 minutes left, so it's not necessarily over. We're going to keep you abreasted of the TCU K-State game, but we will run through some of this other stuff as well as we go through this live stream. This is only my second one to do on a Saturday night, so we're going to try to put this all together as well as possible. I've actually thrown together a couple of highlight clips, and we will get you going on that in just 1 second. I just want to make sure that we're good to go on our live stream here. Make sure we're there. Yeah, we are. All right, cool. Looks good too. Loving it. All right, man. Good deal. I'm assuming this is my first time to stream with StreamYard, and thanks a lot for that, guys. Really excited about our partnerships with StreamYard, and also with obviously with Fanatics, man. And I tell you, if you want to help support this show, you can. I mean, you're already shopping for your gear anyways. You can go ahead and shop with Fanatics right through our website, hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. All you got to do is go to the bottom of that page there. There is a Fanatics logo. You just click on it, shop as you normally do. I'm going to get a small commission for that, and you get to continue seeing us. You will get to continue getting exclusive deals right from Fanatics, up to 65% off everything in the store. So next time you need a new jersey, shirts, hats, whatever it is, any team merchandise that you need, in whatever league it might be for, make sure that you go to our website first. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. And as I said, click that link on the bottom of the page and shop as you normally would. It's a win-win situation for everybody. Okay, I'm gonna let Robert in here. Robert, what's up, bro? I believe you are muted right now.
I'm good now. How are you, big dog?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just chilling.
You are live
Live.
on live on it. So I don't know. As of right now, we have 2 people watching. So welcome to the show, everybody. We're happy to have you with us. Share it with your friends if they love college football. We need as many subscribers as possible. Robert, of course, is Robert Jager, my guest tonight. He is the host of the Boomercast podcast. Big Oklahoma fan as well. And
There's only one, baby.
Hey, man, was there what did it feel like this weekend not really not watching the boys play?
Uh,
Kind of
to
sucks.
be honest, it was a relief.
I feel you, man. I can feel you there. I was telling Bryce on the show yesterday that I really felt like they needed that week off. Maybe they can kind of get a couple of things straightened out as far as that defense is concerned. Obviously, man, it hasn't been. I know everybody was kind of drinking the Kool-Aid a little earlier than what they should have been. But you kind of just kind of hope that you figure that obviously Coach Venables is going to get that defense in line. That's what he does.
Right.
The offense certainly isn't the problem. And, that was the whole thing with me. I couldn't believe that everybody kept bitching and complaining about Jeff Lebby and Dylan Gabriel. Because as soon as they didn't have Dylan Gabriel, it was really bad then.
Really, really bad. We got backup beat Braden Willis in there.
Hey, man, I tell you what, though, that guy, if he didn't help his draft stock, huh?
He's a ball player, bud.
Man, he's a stud. I just keep hearing everywhere that the NFL loves him. The NFL loves that guy.
He's a hard worker.
He is, man. But, hey, we're going to jump into a couple of we're going to go ahead and jump into a couple of highlights here. We're going to start off the show with the teams that Robert and I pretty much hate, both of them. Okie State, Okie Light, as we like to call them, taking on Texas. And, last week, Okie Light went to TCU, gave up a 17-point lead at the 10-minute mark, and ended up losing the game. This week, as you'll see here in just a second, they ended up giving up even a bigger lead. As you see, to start off the game, you got Quinn Ewers. First possession, he throws a pick there. He kind of turns it into
big time. He's big time though.
Today he was big time bad. Big time bad. That ends up, and that they only turned that into a field goal. He's probably lucky on that one, but on the day he ended up with 3 interceptions. So after they got that field goal, then you have Bijan, man. This is just what Bijan does. They end up taking the lead on that 42-yard touchdown run.
Nice.
Man, that was something too, man. I'll tell you what, damn, Bijan Robinson is, Bryce was screaming. He had him in one of his lineups for FanDuel or whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, he was like screaming that whole last freaking quarter, like, give him the ball.
Hell yeah.
As you can see, Dominic Richardson, the first of 3 touchdowns there, puts Oklahoma State back on top 10-7. Of course, it doesn't really take very long before Texas comes right back out. They are going to hit, let's see. Oh, no, the muff punt. Yeah, that was a big deal right there, too. Dude, that was so crazy. And that turns into this next play, which you're going to see, which is going to be Xavier Worthy. He ends up with a 12-yard touchdown pass is what you're going to see here. That's just such a crazy deal, man. And then all of a sudden it's, Xavier Worthy, 12-yard wide out. Man, that guy is something. He's fast too, man. You get him in space, you're dead meat.
Reminds me of Marquise Brown a lot.
Yeah. Yep. So that puts it to obviously 14-10. And then they get a block punt. So I mean, look at this, man. It's just these special teams gaffes were weird. They ended up having another field. They had 2 right there. Then they had, of course, they have probably the best kicker in the conference, and but I mean they struggled with that, and it's that. I mean now they got a block punt, turns it up to now it's 21-10, 11-point lead. They ended up pushing that. Let's see. I think actually the next play here. Yeah, man, this is still that Bijan Robinson again. You just gonna let him be open? What are you kidding?
Yeah, he's gonna excel at the next level too because he catches nice out of the backfield, man.
Yeah, he does, man. He really does. So yeah, okay. So now we've got let's see. Yeah, they have that short one, and then you had Richardson get in for another one. That gets it to 21-17. 21-17. Texas gets a field goal on their next possession to get it to 24-17. And then it looks like, you got Spencer Sanders doing kind of what he's been doing lately, throwing another pick. This one down by the end zone. What a great play there by that Texas player, but it turns it right into a Noshawn Robinson gets into the end zone after that. So, man, that guy's – they got a bunch – they got backs there, right? Roshan and with
They do.
With Bijan and Roshan, man, they can go. That was a 54-yard run. Obviously big there. Then here comes it's 31-17 at the time. So now you've got
Lost his shoe.
yeah, he lost it. Man, that kid's fast though too. Jay Nixon ran right out of his shoe. That's a
Oh,
54-yard run. It sets up the third touchdown of the day for
nice.
Richardson. Twice in the game that I saw that they were at 14. They ended up at 17 points up at that point. And then now here they come back though. It's 34 or 31-24.
Dang.
It's just, man, I'm telling you.
It was a back and forth game, man.
It was, but the whole second half, really, honestly, after the first half, Texas just didn't do much, and Quinn Ewers just could not hit the broadside of a barn. And I tell you something, a lot of that, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that this is one of the few stadiums in the country that's actually lined up east to west. They had a lot of wind there, but some of those throws weren't wind. It was just stupid. The guy ended up on the day, he was 19 of 49 was Quinn Ewers. 19 of 49. Yeah. I mean, you don't expect that from a guy like that. Not the way he's been spinning it,
Yeah, I've never been really too impressed with him, honestly.
The times he's been hurt a lot for the year, but the times that he's been in, he's looked good. And I mean, he looked really good early on against Bama before he got hurt. But this is like one of the biggest plays they had in the whole second half. Bijan getting that first down. He kept hitting. He just kept, throwing them away. Give a little bit of credit to Oklahoma State's secondary. They actually did a really good job of covering the receivers anytime they weren't doing something like coming out of the backfield. But here they go again. I mean, it's tied up here. I mean, look at this play, dude. This, good grief. That's Bryce and Green. Just, I mean, you're gonna break two tackles like that and just takes it to the house. Yeah, man, that
Sanders had a day.
Sanders did have a day, man. He ended up 34-57 for 391, man. That was his second touchdown. He did throw the one interception today. And Ewers, you're going to see here, he's going to throw. This is a fourth down here. And really, this interception was, I just don't understand why you even make that throw, man. I just don't even understand why you make that throw. That's the second interception of the day. For Jason Taylor, he got hurt on that play though, man. He didn't come back. So of course, they get this. They had another shot to come back and tie it. They forced the punt, and then they get down there a little ways, and he throws another one. So that was his third interception of the day. He did have 2 touchdowns, but again, 19 of 49. That's around 40%. That's not going to be good anywhere. No. And when you've got it's what makes me wonder is what in the hell were they doing? What is Sark doing? You've got Bijan running like that, and they're not really stopping him. He had some short runs, but man, you got to keep him going. I don't care how it is, throw him the ball out of the backfield. Do whatever you got to do, but come on, man. That just it seems weird to me that was their 8th game since Sark took over, their 8th time to lose at least a 10-point lead.
Ooh.
In the second half. So I mean, good grief, man.
And that's in 2 seasons, right?
That's in 2 seasons, man. Almost every one of their losses last year, they led. Every one of them. Heck, they led Oklahoma by 21.
Right.
It's 28-7 in that game at the half. And no, it was. Yeah, it was. It wasn't even the half yet, was it? Whenever it didn't, and then freaking Caleb took off on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right before the half goal, but I mean, it was 28-7 early in the second quarter.
Yeah, man.
Early in the second quarter, they're getting blown out, and then done. I don't know, and this makes you wonder. I mean, I know that they look better. They definitely look a lot better than they did a year ago. I mean, you got to give credit where it's due there, but I mean, how long can you afford to continue with this coaching if you're not getting it done? I mean, I just tend to wonder.
Tom Herman 2.0, man. Like,
yeah, and I felt like Herman was on his way. I thought he was about to get it done. I know everybody was down there likes to say he was a dumpster fire and stuff, but I don't see it. Man. I just have a hard time believing that. Yeah. So let's go back and check out. Hey, man. So I texted Jager earlier and was talking about TCU just wrecking
Yeah.
TCU getting wrecked by K-State. Now here we are, 6 minutes left in the game. TCU has the ball again inside Kansas State territory, up 38-28. Uh-oh.
Oh damn.
Another first down run. Another first down run. Hey, man, they're just lighting
Yeah,
them
when
up
I
now.
checked the score, you text me. I'm like, "What is this dude talking about?" Like,
It was 28-10 when I sent you that. It was 28-10 when I sent that to you,
TCU
man.
got themselves a squad now. They're physical. They're
They are,
explosive.
man. They're coached well too. I
They're
mean, that's the thing. I've
coached
always
very
liked
well.
Sonny. I thought Sonny was real good, and then Lincoln's little brother, man, he calls plays, and he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. And here's the thing: this is really what TCU needed. They've played great defense forever.
Yeah.
They're going to play pretty good defense, and so you get to get somebody in there that runs the air raid and does what they're doing. I mean, this you
You got a
see it
fifth
kind of
year
happen.
quarterback,
Yeah.
Max Dugan or whatever.
Man, Max has
Experience,
kind of
man.
he's had a rough career, but he's
He
really
has.
kind of it's been an up and down career for him. But I mean, he's getting it done this year.
Boy's got some character, got some moxie about him.
He does, man. He does.
Telling you.
Yeah, he can rip it. He can rip it, but he ain't afraid to take off either.
I
They
think,
look good, man. They look good.
yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing about Dylan Gabriel. Like, dude's a baller. I'm not knacking on him about his skill as a quarterback, as a QB1. But like as far as the mental side of it, he just don't seem to have the leadership quality. Like, let's go, baby.
I
Like
don't know, dude.
I
I'll tell
just
you what. I'll
like
tell
I
you
said,
what, man.
go ahead.
Something that impressed me, and I don't know if you saw this on the video from last week, but uh, they were asking him in the press conference about what he did, after the concussion, obviously, and stuff like that, and he just had all the right answers, and you know what I mean. He was talking about how he didn't really have any problems with the hit, or he knew it wasn't malicious. And that's what he said. And I felt like it was malicious, but I mean, it was the right thing for him to do to not be that way. And the one thing I'll say is that, like, for all the heat that he's taken, he took heat for the K-State loss, and he had almost 400 yards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. He didn't have a turnover. The first turnovers he's even had were last weekend, and I mean, he had 3 of them. But I mean, come on, man. This guy, and then the other thing was the thing that impressed me, that one of the reporters in that press conference was asking him, and she said that I guess Braden Willis was telling her about it, that they were having one of the team meetings and during the film session, and he started getting all the guys that weren't up close enough. He was like, man, there was a lot of seats in between us and them, and I guess Dylan made them all get down there closer, so they were tighter, and that Braden was like, this is our guy,
Yeah.
and so for whatever it's worth, that's leadership to me. And if Braden says that,
Right.
that kind of goes to show you that they are looking to him that way. And
Yeah.
I think that it's hard for us as fans, and having seen what we saw with Caleb Williams last year, it's hard for us as fans to like embrace something like that. But the fact is that dude is gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Straight up, he's
Oh
gone.
yeah.
He's not a part of this university anymore. You're gonna have to be okay with that. And
I
I
guess.
feel it.
Go
You know
ahead.
what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I guess they would like more. Maybe it's more like I don't feel like the opponents um are fear him like
Yeah,
they
well,
would
they
fear
cannot
Baker
fear him while he
or
puts it
fear
up their
Kyler.
butt, because I
You
mean the
know.
dude is the I mean he's the thing is that I don't feel like there's a single problem with the offense. I just don't.
Oh no,
I
dude. There's
mean, as
not.
far as that goes, I mean, look, man, if even in that K State game, I mean, when you score 34, that ought to be enough. You put up 550 yards, that ought to be enough. Hell, even last week against Kansas, they put up half 100 and 700 yards, and only won by 10.
Gave up
You
42.
know,
Yeah.
and really, it would have been easy. I mean, they could have ended up with almost 60, because at the half, I don't know what the hell that play call was down
I
there
know, man.
down the goal line, the play calling at the goal line.
I
And then
know.
on top of that, I felt like BV decided to sit on the ball. If it hadn't been for Gray breaking that long one right before,
Yeah.
they hadn't used their timeouts. They'd used up a minute of time on 2 plays.
Yeah. That was
And
kind
I'm
of.
going, dude, what are you doing? And you could tell that they were upset in the stadium too. They're, what the hell? Let's
Yeah.
go.
Got to
You're
get
already
every
putting
chance.
up all this yardage. You got to go, man. Yeah. I mean, especially with the way your defense is playing. Go score every time you can.
Yeah.
But then they
Back.
get it down on the goal line, and then I don't think I've ever seen a goal line set out of a spread team, not ever. And they
Yeah.
did that and twice in a row too. I was like, what the hell is this?
You
So
know,
I don't know.
I was listening to the ref, and they were talking about Clemson's defense. The first year Brent Venables got there,
Yeah.
and they were like 40. They were 80th and something in total and deep total defense, and like 40th or so in points per game defense. And the next year they went all the way to 20th, like 25th or something in total defense, and eighth in scoring defense. By year three, they were number 8 and number 1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
And
just
that's the
like,
thing. It's going to take time, and
yep.
and that's what the if I had a problem with what's going on, and it's this is slight problems. I mean, I'm not really talking trash.
No, I hear
Um,
you.
I mean, there. I feel like right now the defense is trash, but I know that when they get his guys in there and run things, and part of I think the problem is that I think it's a little bit too sophisticated sometimes. Maybe
Yeah.
I think that maybe coming from what they're used to with that speed defense, and it's like the guy there. We've got another friend of ours from Twitter that he was going to come on, but he's having issues with his computer tonight. But he was talking about with the whole speed thing with Bobby was he said, man, let's just get to the football. There's
Yep.
not a lot of assignment gap
Yep.
protect. You don't have
Yep.
a certain gap. You just go get to the football. So, I think that, and even like I felt like in the TCU game, what I was seeing was that sometimes they were there, and
Yep.
but they seemed like they weren't running there with reckless abandon.
Yep.
It was more just oh wait, am I making the right mistake? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do here?
Mhm.
And man, when you play defense, you can't do that.
No.
You have to. Yeah, I would rather see them make huge mistakes, blowing coverage or whatever the hell at 100% than
Right.
being confused. And I
Yep.
feel like that sometimes that's what happens is they just seem like they're confused.
No,
And
you're right.
so, and I know that Brent is able to go with a multiple type defense. So he should be able to instill his principles while helping these guys that you have right now do better,
You
you
know,
know?
I
Because
do.
I don't feel like you can just throw away these kids.
No, 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 no.
You can't.
Still got some ball players. I mean, like, but in the heavy, I noticed that when he pulled in the young cats,
Right.
like they did better because they
And
don't
he
have
keeps
them
on
bad
putting them on the
habits.
bench, though. That's the weird thing is they
Yeah,
just keep on sticking them right back on the bench.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's like a loyalty thing to like to the starters or what. Like, I
Hey,
don't know what's
man,
going
you know
on there,
what? At
but
this point,
I mean, that's the way it should be. Like not. Well, I mean, just whoever the best player is needs to be on the field.
and you know what? At a place like Oklahoma, it don't matter what grade you are, man.
It
I don't
shouldn't.
care
Yeah.
if you're a senior or not. Sorry.
There's some freshmen
But
that
that
can
being
ball.
said, you need to get these guys that in the game, and the ones that you have, I mean, you've got guys back there that can play. Look at Woody; he's a great defender on
Yeah,
defense. Their
yeah.
corner, and it seems like they've put him in a situation where he hasn't done as well. And then I can't. I mean, whatever, man. It is what it is. But I feel like you just kind of have to do whatever you can to help this team be as successful as they can because with that offense theoretically they could win now. I promise
Oh,
you the fact that Oklahoma State won this game today, and I'm going to say this, I don't care which one of you Okie fans might be watching, you know what, I believe that they put themselves in a position today to lose to Oklahoma. That's
you
what they
already
did.
know.
They
You already.
lost to they should have lost to Texas. Texas gags it up. I knew one of them had to gag it up because that's what they do in
Yeah.
big games. They usually screw it up, and but I figure now their gag time is just in a couple of weeks.
It
That's
will.
all it is.
It's just
So
it's just the way it is around there. They'll accept it and they'll talk about how they beat us last year and ran our coach out of town or whatever.
oh
Like,
please, ran them
you
out
know
of
what I
town.
mean?
He
It's
threw the
just
game so he didn't have to hang around.
yeah. It's wild how they wait for us to fall instead of being the one that makes people fall. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, they get on my last nerve, dude. On this channel, they bug the worst. They're the ones that are always in the comments. They're the ones that are always running their mouth.
Right.
The second they notice that or hear that I'm an Oklahoma fan, which Bryce loves to talk trash about it, especially now that they're losing. The second that they hear that stuff, it's that they'll be in the comments running their mouth. And I'm like, dude, win something other than just a regular season game.
Yeah.
Win something other than a regular season game.
For sure.
Okay. And win something of significance because you gag them up all the time. And I mean, it's just like that. They would have been in the driver's seat. They win that game a week ago, and then they win this week against Texas. They're almost guaranteed to get into the at least into the Big 12 championship.
Yeah,
they still got to win some games, but yeah, they could have been in contention for the playoffs. Now you got to look at it as they would have to win out and wait and see. I mean, honestly, well, I think Mississippi screwed that up. That's another thing. We do need to talk about a few other scores and stuff like that. Ole Miss got drug today. Drug. Straight up. That was, I couldn't even believe it. That was
Jaden Daniels went off, man.
Dude, that guy's a stud, man.
369 of total offense, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, bro. What a game. What a game.
Tore it up too, man. Like,
yeah. Yep. And then did you see, of course, so let me get to that scoreboard page. Man, I had it up a second ago too. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, so in that game, I mean, good grief.
Jackson Dart had a terrible game.
Terrible. And they were talking about earlier in the year that Lane wasn't that excited about him. And now I saw why in that game today. I'm sitting there watching and going, whoa, he looked awful. Yeah. He looked awful. I mean, yeah, he had a 55 QBR.
Yeah, terrible.
It's not good, man. And so he ended up 19 to 34, 284, no touchdowns. He just had the interception. But Daniels, 21 to 28, 248, and 2 touchdowns. So, and this is weird because in the last I had seen, I think it was 20 to 3. And then I switched over, was flipping through and watching some other ones. And then whenever I get back to it, it's right at the half. And so it was 20 to 17. And then that second half, though, LSU just kind of put it on them after that. They went scored
Daniels had 120 on the ground too.
Yeah, he did, man. He was lighting it up. Yeah, look, man, that's exactly why they went and got him. Yep. Exactly why they went and got him, because of his ability to do both things. Bryce was screaming. He lives in Phoenix, so he was like, man, he goes, that dude is going to be a bad dude at LSU. Yeah. He was like, he's going to be a bad dude at LSU. And I think that, as much as, look, man, I know that there's not a lot of us that think a lot of Coach Kelly, but, man, I didn't have a problem with that hire once. I feel like he has won everywhere he's been. Everywhere he's been. Brian Kelly just wins. And so you can say whatever you want, but I remember before he got to Notre Dame, what were
Cincinnati?
They? Yeah, I mean, but what was Notre Dame before he got there? They were trash.
For a while.
Had been, right? They had that one good season with Charlie Weiss, and then they went down the drain after that. Yeah. So it was just, total different deal. And he won there. He had won at Cincinnati. You're right about that. And then now here he is. They started looking not so great. They lost that first game, which they should have won it. And then, but now they're 4-1 in the conference, 6-2 overall. Tennessee did put it on them a couple of weeks ago.
Tennessee.
But Tennessee's the real deal.
They put up 60 today.
Yeah, they're playing UT Chattanooga. They're playing UT Chattanooga. I would hope they put up 60.
Right.
Or UT Martin, something like that.
Hey, what about Wake Forest sitting at 6-1?
Hey, man, and they almost beat Clemson. That was a hell of a game. Dude, all they do is just win football games, bro. They just win football games that they're not supposed to and stay right up there and quietly do their thing down there in Wake Forest. They're the real deal.
They're like 13th this year so far, man.
Yeah, man. And it's the way they played. I mean, of course, you have that Syracuse and Clemson. Syracuse jumps out to a 21-7 lead. They had to pull DJ Uiagalelei out of the game.
Garbage.
He looked terrible. I've been waiting for them to pull
Garbage.
him. I've been waiting for them to pull him all season.
I'm telling you, dude, since like last
All
year, man.
season, man. 4 turnovers. He had 3 turnovers in like short succession right there in that first half. They jerked him out of the game.
Was it 2 of them within Syracuse's 10-yard line?
Yes. And he
Man.
had that. Yeah. It was just stupid stuff, right? And then Klubnik comes in. He didn't do a ton as far as I mean, they really didn't need him to, though, because they had Will Shipley just go off.
Oh,
yeah. He had 27 carries. They say they stamped U.S. mail on his butt and said, let's go. 27 carries, 172, and 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
Hey, man, and Will Shipley's a beast, man. That kid can play. But Klubnik is the guy that they've been saying that he's the man. And, I mean, everywhere around Clemson, they've been talking about this guy. And even after this game, Dabo was still saying that DJ's his guy, that he's going to start him.
Wow.
So that's kind of weird to me. It kind of surprises me because I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. But of course, he only threw the ball 4 times with Klubnik in there. Only 4 times. Yeah.
Oh.
So weird deal. But yeah, it's Shipley had a great day. They end up coming back. They win 27-21. Syracuse has been the surprise of the season, man. That's their first loss. That's their first loss, yeah. So
I was at work, man. I had to work today, and I was watching that game.
Right. Of course, Bama bounces back from their loss to Tennessee. They put it on the Pirate, and then he was watching the game last week, going, "Shit, we got to go to Tuscaloosa next week."
For real. That'd be a cool dude to talk to, man.
He's fun, man. He's fun. When I used to cover Tech whenever I was in Midland, and he was a fun guy, man. He was a fun guy. He was. I'll tell you a story one time off the air. I'm not going to tell it on the air. I'll tell you a story sometime about him. Still 38-28. Kansas State is losing now. They've given up 28 unanswered to TCU since going up by 18. You had Oregon just paced UCLA today. Man, Bo Nix since that first game against Georgia, he looked terrible. And since, they looked really, really good. So we can actually go ahead and.
That's a pretty good UCLA squad too, man.
It is. That was their first loss. So, that's one of them deals where it's like, man, I'll tell you what, pretty surprising that you would have. Where is that? Okay. Share screen.
Oregon and SC hasn't played yet, huh?
No, they don't play during the regular season either.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be if they play them, it will be in the Pac-12 championship.
Oh, okay.
So here's Bo. He's picking. He had 5 TD passes today.
Yeah, 5-piece.
Yeah, man.
There's some ugly jerseys right there, boy.
Yeah, they had them. They just let them wear whatever, bro. They just let them wear whatever. But
they're ugly, man.
Yeah, and this was of course, Chip Kelly's return to Oregon, and
Boy, Chip Kelly had some squads there in Eugene, huh?
He sure did. He really did, and they looked pretty good early. It was pretty close, and then they came out and did a onside kick, and that was huge, man. He felt, and it was rainy at that point. It's what made me think, man, Dan Lanning is he's playing chess, and everybody out there is playing checkers.
Oh, right.
I really like Lanning as a coach, man, and the more I hear about him, the more I like him as a coach. I think that guy. That's a good hire for Oregon, man. It makes you wonder it makes you understand why Castiglione apparently wanted to hire him.
Yeah.
I think that he was talked out of that. So
where's he from?
Well, he was the DC at Georgia, and then he originally he was a student assistant for Saban and them.
So he's bringing that SEC kind of culture to Oregon, huh?
He is.
All right.
He is. In Oregon, the thing is that Oregon recruits with the best of them, man. They really do. And honestly, this helped SC though, because Now if SC is able to beat UCLA, they're going to get into that championship game. But I don't know anybody that would want any piece of these guys.
No, man.
I don't know anybody who would want a piece of those dudes, man. 5 TD. I mean, their defense is swarming around, getting people all day long, and then you've got Knicks. I mean, like ever since that Georgia game, of course, Georgia. I just don't think that they were ready for that. You got to go
Right.
all the way across the country. First game, and defending champs. They're riding high after what they did. That's a
Well,
that's a
Nick's still
tough
having
ask.
nightmares.
That's a tough ask. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
for real. Nick's still having nightmares about his last outing against Georgia. Yeah,
Every time he's played them. When Dan Lanning was the DC before
right,
that.
right.
So, but I think that obviously that was a good move for him to get a guy that had some. He's got a guy who had some experience, playing against an
Right.
SEC teams, and to go out there and it's a big deal for him. And obviously, I think everybody saw the writing on the wall at Auburn. There's no way that guy survives. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? No
for
way.
sure.
And that was a stupid hire by Auburn anyway. Why are you going to get a guy who grew up and coached solely in the Pacific Northwest to freaking go down to SEC country?
Yeah.
And I don't care how good he was at Boise State. I don't. And I know those guys can coach. I'm not even saying he can't.
Is that Peterson?
No, oh man, if you hadn't asked me, I'd know exactly who it is. It's shit, Brian Harsett.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
So yeah, it was just it's one of them things, but I just don't understand why that would even happen. To me, that's just a dumb hire, and they didn't like him from the start. I mean, almost immediately, they were like ugly to him.
yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those deals where it hadn't been good, and I think they're only like 3-3 or 3-4 at this point now. But you just don't get a lot of time in a place
Yeah,
like that, and
yeah,
especially when you've got your cross state rival is beating the crap out of everybody and winning national titles. They
yeah,
expect you to do it. And
yeah.
look at, I mean, they fired Gus. They fired Gus quick, and I mean, he took them to a national title game.
Right. Yeah.
So pretty crazy deal, man.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
crazy deal.
Hey, so what do you think about that question I posed about Dion and Coach Venables?
Let's talk about that a little bit. So go ahead and ask the question again. And folks, as we do this here, if you like what you're seeing, like hit that subscriber button, man. We trying to add some more subscribers. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm at my watch hours on my channel here. We're doing a lot of really good, and I know everybody's watching it because we've gotten to 4,000 watch hours. And we've got certain videos that have hit well over 5 and 10,000 views even. So you
Nice.
know we appreciate that. We really need to so hit that subscriber button, share us around with your friends. We'd appreciate that as well. And if you're watching this in Facebook, please come on over to YouTube, hit the subscriber button. It won't hurt you. I know you guys are over there watching us in Facebook as well. Uh, we appreciate
Even all
all
you
that.
little haters lying in the grass.
All right, so real quick, let's address a couple of these comments that we've gotten. We've got, here's the problem: Jeff Lebby did not create a competition for the quarterback. I personally think he has totally disrespected Micah Bowen, being that he has been on campus the longest. Huh.
What happened to Micah Bowen? Is he still on the roster?
I don't think so. I don't know exactly. And Caravan okay that came from Caravan okay. That was actually a while back. I can't honestly tell you uh what happened there. I'm not up to date on that part of it. I don't know what happened to him, and totally disrespected. I don't know, man. This is
Yeah,
major college football. If he didn't have a spot, he didn't have a spot. Now, what I would tell you is that I think General Booty was definitely hurt for the Texas game. That's why he didn't get to
yeah.
play.
Something in his
Uh,
eyes, contact lenses or something.
yeah, something screwed up. He. There was a reason why he didn't get a chance to play. I think my thing was, why did you put Nick Evers in at the end of the game? If I had a problem with any of that stuff in the Texas game, it was,
Yeah,
why put him in to run the clock out? I don't want to see that.
yeah,
Let him in there. Let's see what the hell you can do. And of course, that's not necessarily Levy's call. I mean, I think it's partly Levy's call, but I don't think it's totally is.
Ultimately, it's your HC. I mean,
yeah,
he's the one that ultimately makes the decisions. He should be anyway. You know.
right, right. And look, and then Caravan also, he comes in and says most of all the YouTube content creators kept picking OU to lose 2 or 3 games. When they did, they complained about their predictions. K-State, TCU, and Texas should not have beaten OU. Well,
we're seeing how good TCU is right now.
Yeah, we are seeing how good TCU is right now, and and you know what? Maybe Texas doesn't beat them like that, but they're more talented right now. You know, from top to bottom, and you never know with Texas. They're going to beat Oklahoma sometimes, even when they're bad, even when they're bad. So, as far as the K-State game, probably not, but that didn't have anything to do with anything other than defense. And I mean, Adrian Martinez just went crazy. He went crazy, and he's not even playing. He hadn't been playing tonight. I think
that kid wanted a W in Norman so bad because he was denied last year at Nebraska when he played for Nebraska. So like he had the.
They did him so ugly too, like it was his fault. What happened? The whole he had them in. What did they have? 8 or 9 games that they lost by 1 score.
Yeah, man.
And they blamed it on Martinez and kept the coach around for at least a few more games.
You seen how that worked out?
That was silly stuff, man. That was silly stuff. Oh, and there's my boy Bobby, man. He said this earlier, but when we were talking, we had the Okie State stuff, he goes, that fraudulent 1945 championship in the background, Okie light. I love it. You're right, Bobby.
Tell 1945.
Yeah, that's funny. That was a claimed national title for somebody who had to vacate it or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Trash. Leave it to those guys to do that crap.
For real.
Make sure you put it up there real big. Put it real big up there. Yeah.
Right. 45.
Hey, listen, I guess there was no way I was rooting for anybody today in that game.
Right.
That I will never root for either one of those teams. But I gotta say, I guess I'm glad that Oakley Light won because now when it matters and they play in the Bedlam game, they will get beat.
Right.
It'll just happen.
And it'd be even better if we blank them.
Wow.
With
that defense, I'm having a hard time believing that, bro. I'm just going to be real. I'm just going to be real with you. I don't believe that one.
If we can keep under 37, we might be all right.
Hey, look. Hey, I mean, if you keep them under 30, you're definitely going to win.
Right. Yeah,
but defense. You know how it is, and they got to come to Norman too. I just have a feeling I've been thinking that all year. That they were going to win.
Play the underdog role the rest of the year, man.
And look, man, it's okay. And I think I said before the start of the year,
you did
even the same thing. I said, look, 9-3, even 8-4 isn't going to piss nobody off. You know, I remember the one that we did together, and you were, you drank the Kool-Aid up too, and I was doing. But I was like, yeah, okay, well, I'll let you have that one.
Right.
I don't have to do it, but. And the thing is I just think it's a lot to put on their shoulders to do that, and the kids for that matter. And just the fact that it just didn't seem like that was going to happen. So to me, I just had a hard time with it. I had a hard time believing it could. And again, even the defense that they had was trash last year.
Yeah.
And they lost a lot of those dudes, even. So it's just hard for me to buy into that.
I definitely bought into the hype without taking a step back and actually looking
and I think that's easy to do as a fan, and that he's a good coach, and then that we got a good offensive coach coming in there as well. You do have some good skill players, and I think Dylan's really good. But here's Bobby again. Thank you, Bobby, for coming back and adding to it. He said it's meant to transform from a 3-4 to a 4-3 to a 3-3-5, depending on the offense, without missing a beat. And it'll get there. And I agree with you, Bobby. I think you're right. I think you're right. And it's just going to take that, though. It's going to take getting his guys into position and having time for them to understand it. And it's like I said, I still feel like it's one of those deals where it's just where I feel like right now with the guys that he has in there, they've been learning speed D. And
Right.
that's, so
A lot of bad habits, man.
is it a bad habit for? It's a bad habit for this defense for sure.
Right.
But
Just overrunning the ball, and that's
yeah,
pretty
and on
much a
top of that, it
lot of
just doesn't seem like they're. It seems like they're confused a lot. It
thinking
just
too
seems like
much.
they're confused a lot to me, and I don't like that. I don't want them thinking a lot. You don't need that. Just find a way to get them to do what they need to do, and there it
Like
is.
read and react, but don't take too long to read and react.
Correct. Just go get to the football.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, whatever. Just go get to the football. I mean, it can't get worse.
Right. I
You
mean, if
know?
you're at OU, you're at OU for a reason. So your instincts, just trust your instincts, man. Like
That's
you
true.
have that football instincts in your mind
Yeah.
for a reason, man.
Listen, man, and it's like I said. That's why I would like to see them really kind of do. I mean, I don't want you throwing them away. I don't want you just, us or as fans for us to sit here and say, well, wait till he gets his guys. Hey, man, get these guys
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
I
Get
see
these
what you're
guys
saying.
to do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, but it is it's gonna take some time, man.
It's
It's
all
just gonna
about the
take some time.
process, man.
It is.
I know it sounds cliche, but
But yeah, I
true,
mean,
man.
well, I mean, and I've told my kids before, man, you have to go through it. Nothing worth having is easy. And if you put a cake in, it's going to take 45 minutes for it to bake right. It's not going to
Right,
taste good if you take it out in 20.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. So don't expect that. It's just silly.
And like you
Going
got
back
to
to
respect
that
it.
Kansas State, let's take a look at this scoreboard again. Ball game is over, 38-28. TCU goes to 7-0 on the season, folks.
Nice comeback.
That's a nice comeback, man. They're down 28-10. I thought,
Where are
maybe
they playing at?
they're in Fort Worth, man. I'll tell you
Nice.
what, these big games, they've caught a break in having all three of them at home.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
because
Night games too, huh? Oh no, I guess OU wasn't a night game.
no, neither was Okie State. That was an early game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was early afternoon game.
Okay.
Game. But that was hey, look, I'll tell you what, that's a big deal. So let's going into the box here. Yeah. For Quinn, Bobby's in there again. Yeah, dude, he was trash, bro.
He
Trash.
was. He's like
Trash.
doing like the sidearm, like Brett Favre.
19 of 49. I mean, who that?
It's all we.
Part of that is what if you're Sark, bro? Get him in line, and stop having him throwing deep balls. Get him to pass some stuff underneath and do it. That's a Sark problem to me. There's no way. I'll tell you this about Lincoln. There ain't no way Lincoln would have allowed that. I watched him freaking make Jalen Hurts look so good when he was playing like trash so many times.
Right.
Because he's terrible at throwing the football.
Yeah.
Terrible. I was at the game at Baylor, and when they went down, they were down 28-7 at the half. And I was ready to go. I was saying, man, if they don't score something right away at the, after this, we're out of here. Because it was cold. I was like, it was night game. I was like, man, if they don't score, they don't get back in this game immediately after halftime, we're leaving.
Right.
I was ready to get out of that. I didn't want to stay out there and freeze. But they did. And that was all a matter of the way that Lincoln kind of, instead of putting him in a position where he could throw another pick or do something stupid,
Right.
there was just no way. So, crazy deal there. Okay, so yeah, let's look at so Max Duggan ends up another big game, 17-26, 283 touchdowns, no picks. Howard came in place of Martinez. I guess Martinez got hurt.
Oh wow.
Either that or he was, I don't know exactly what was happening, but so anyway, Howard comes in, he ends up with 225 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Deuce Vaughn, 12 rushes. I don't understand why he didn't get the football more.
12 touches.
He only gets 12 runs? What the hell? That's weird.
That is weird.
That's just weird. It don't make no sense. I
It's
think
sometimes,
Bobby's in there watching like later on down the roads because he's talking about stuff we've already talked about. But yeah.
It's kind of
So
bad
yeah,
when sometimes these coaches, their game plan, like it's like why, like what do you? I don't know. Trying to wrap your mind around it. It's like, well, I'd do it way different, but I don't
You
know.
know,
So
yeah, but I mean, well, when you've got a guy, well, he had busted that long play. Deuce had, you know what I mean? He busted that long play. It was in that what was it? I think it was in the first half. 47-yard touchdown run. You know, and then I mean, that was 47 yards. He only ends up with 83 because he only had 12 touches. How do you not give him the ball more? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me at all. So yeah, big game for these guys. You know, I would say, I, Max Duggan, man, I think he's kind of put himself in the Heisman race, don't you think?
he might have. I mean,
I feel like it's really at this point, it's
Bryce Young, C.J.
no,
Stroud.
I think it's Hendon Hookers. It's Hendon Hookers right now to lose after the game that he had last week.
Hendon Hooker, where's he from?
Tennessee's quarterback.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, man.
What about
Bro,
Ohio State? The C.J. Stroud?
I think he's leading it pretty much. Yeah, but the thing is
They're
we're
quietly.
gonna have to find out because they hadn't played anybody of significance yet. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that doesn't mean that they're great, and I doesn't mean that
Right.
he's not great. What I'm saying is that we hadn't really seen him do anything of significance at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean everything that he's doing, it's been all against Rutgers or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So until you end up with
Big Ten's not really where it is as it usually is, man.
I think the Big Ten's trash outside of Michigan and Ohio State, to be honest
Seriously
with you,
though,
man.
like
I
I mean,
just think
Penn
that
State's like a 9-win team.
yeah, I
Michigan
mean
State's an 8-win, 9-win team.
yeah, I mean but look at what happened to Penn State last week when they went to Michigan.
Ooh,
They just got thumped.
they did.
They got thumped. So, I mean, when that happens, then I mean, and I get it. They were at the big house, so that's hard. But to me, you've got to hey, you might want to refresh your screen or something, man. I think you're frozen on mine.
Oh, I was just um
Can you refresh? It might help. If not, it's all right. I can hear you. So, um, let's see. Yeah, Bobby, I think you're right. DJ's gonna be in the portal. Oh, he just left. Well, I lost him. I lost Jager. He'll be back. He'll be back. Bobby, man. Appreciate you, man. There he is. There he is. He's
I
back.
lost it.
That's
Something
okay. That's all right. I figured something was up because you froze.
yeah.
I was like, I lost him. All right. All right. Let's run through these scores again real quick. Ohio State, they yeah, man, I took that one so easy. I bet Ohio State quick. It was 30 and I didn't think twice about it. 54-10 win over Iowa. I don't think Iowa has scored over 10 points all season. So I think that's about what I expected. 54-10 for Ohio State. Obviously, Tennessee backs up their win over Alabama a week ago. Probably a smart move for them to have one of their off games or
Right.
out of conference games in between that game, and I believe they play Georgia next week. So UT Martin, they beat them 65-24.
You got
Josh
that South
Heupel,
Carolina game in front of you?
South Carolina, I can get it there.
A&M.
Let's look at that. Yeah, let's look
It was
at that.
Carolina was up last time I checked.
I knew that they were going to win this game, and they did. 30-24.
Five and
Texas,
two, bud.
yeah, go figure. It's not because of Spencer Rattler. I'll tell you that. It is not because of Spencer Rattler.
Boy, that dude.
Trash. Sorry, guys. Trash.
No, it's true though. It's true, man.
Guys, trash, man. 30-24, though. Big win for them. And, of course, it was in their house. But I got to say, at what point does Jimbo lose control of this thing? I don't care if he's got $100 million contract and whatever I don't know how much of it is guaranteed. But at what point do you tell him, You either give up play calling duties and running that damn offense, or you're gone.
Yeah.
He's a freaking used car salesman.
Right.
You know how lucky LSU is that they paid him at A&M?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know how lucky they are that they paid him at A&M? Because I tell you, he got $100 million contract and he's never gone over 8-4. Or no,
Never.
he did that one year.
With-
he did over that 1 year.
With foreign
In the COVID year.
blue
But
chip recruits all around.
they
dude.
haven't been over number 6 the entire time since he got there. He has the exact same. In fact, I think he's behind someone now.
That's crazy.
At this time of it, or I think this is about when they fired someone, but when they got to this point.
Yeah, that's wild, man. He was riding off Bobby Bowden's coattails too long, man.
Well, and to give him credit for that one, because before he took over for Bobby, they were trash. They weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't. And I mean, he was an old man. You know,
Yeah,
he
he
should have
was.
retired a long time before that.
Yeah.
They weren't going to push him out,
Yeah.
but they knew.
He's been there for a minute.
The thing is, but he hadn't gotten another Jameis Winston
No.
since then. You know what I mean? But how would you know? How would we know when they said that the playbook is so crazy? There's just too much. Man, pare it down. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I look at guys like, you know, and Levy, you can't tell because he's up in the booth, but
Right.
with you know, where Chip Kelly had that big ass freaking thing that he's looking at, right? And so does Andy, but then you got like, you know, the one that Lincoln looked at was this big. It was a postcard.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, you don't need that many plays. And the same with Urban Meyer. He was the same way. You know what I mean? He didn't have a ton of plays. They just run a lot of the same stuff. The mesh play is
variances, yeah.
It's just variance, you know, and there's just not, I mean, there's variance of every play, and a lot of it is your receivers reading the route that they need to run. And you know, obviously the quarterback having to read that route. But
Riley was really good at that, disguising a play with a play,
running with it, yes, and to make it into a run where he had just run the same play, a pass play, you know, which that was, you know, we were talking about you know, Bedlam earlier. You think about that a little bit, is that he ran that on that last drive, he ran the same fucking play at least 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a variant of the same play. It was the same damn play.
Yeah.
And every time Caleb Williams was running for his life. Every time. I have a feeling I'm not going to say that again. I said it earlier. I ain't going to say it again. But but I know what I think about that football game.
Oh yeah.
I know what I think about that football game.
It's hard not to, man. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, take your heart out of the conversation.
Watching it, I'm not even talking about how I felt about it, you know, personally. I'm telling you, looking at it and knowing what would have happened had they won that game, that hurts him in recruiting if he goes to SC. He doesn't get to take the SC job the next day because he ends up having at least another week where he's going to stay and go to the Big 12 championship game. And if they win that one, then they're going to the playoff. There's not that hurts him getting that job. Period. That gets
2 months.
It's a month. It's a month and a half. Yeah. There's no way that he ends up probably either taking the job or else. Are you going to leave it when you got a playoff bid now?
Yeah. I
think that again. I'm not going to say it again, but I'm telling you what I think. You know what I think. I can tell you without saying it. So anyway,
you think the fan base is like more mad at Riley because he was so talented and he left, or they're mad?
I think that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, I think, you know, you hear a lot of this. Oh, it's his problem with the defense and stuff like that. Come on, man. Let's just be real. Dude, folks, let's just be real.
I mean, seriously.
It was trash for freaking 10 years before he took over.
Yeah, often.
You know, it was trash for freaking 10 years before he took over. Defensively, it was bad. And even at the end of BV's time as the DC, it wasn't good. And a lot of that had to do with recruiting and what was going on. But just like that, I mean, look, they fired Heupel. They fired Josh Heupel and the other co-coordinator or whatever. And why? It wasn't. They changed the offense to what Bob Stoops wanted. Yeah, we're getting people dropping
Yeah,
off.
we
That
are.
I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I start talking shit about Bob Stoops,
Uh-oh.
every time, man,
Yeah.
I get people triggered with that one. But I do think that if you know you want to know the long and short of it, I think that that's the real thing. Is that because Lincoln is talented, man. Now, do I think that he was recruiting it right? No. I think in 5 years you should have been able to recruit a better defensive team. Yeah, you needed to, and granted, he only had it. What it was 3 seasons without without
No,
Mike
5
Stoops.
seasons. Oh
Well, he
yeah,
had 5 seasons, but
yeah,
I
3.
mean, he was forced to
Yeah.
keep Mike Stoops. There's no two
Oh
ways
yeah.
around
Oh
that,
yeah,
bro.
man.
So,
Yeah, 3
but
seasons.
that being said, I know that to be true, man. I know that to be
Right.
true. I don't care what they admit. That's how it was. So,
Well, you know, I was talking to Nate Downs about it, Ethan's dad,
mhm.
and he was saying that, man, Riley, he's a young coach, dude. Like he didn't know what to do, so like
I don't think they
learned.
put training wheels on it for him at
Yeah,
first.
he
I
learned,
do.
and he learned that he made a bad choice, and he's moving on. You know, like
Yeah, and I think that they put training wheels, and it might have been okay for the first couple of years. I understand it, but
right.
once you get to you basically you get to 3 in a row playoffs.
Yeah,
Hey, I want control now. Back off.
embarrassed,
Back off.
embarrassed all but one.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you need to let him have control of it, let him do his thing, and even after the Rose Bowl, I mean, they should have won that.
Yeah.
I was there. I it drove me crazy. They should have won it, and everybody that watched that freaking team that whole year, Baker senior year, knew that defense was going to hurt them.
Yeah,
They knew it. You had to know it. I mean, and they did. And on top of that, yes, he took his foot off the gas. I got my thoughts about that too. I was in the stadium. I saw what happened. I saw what happened at halftime, and so I just feel like there was mistakes made. And you're right. He was young. His first head coaching job. That's a lot to take on as your first head coaching job as a young guy, to have to take over for a guy like Stoops. But I think that once he proved that he could continue to win, I mean, because he won four straight as the head coach, Big 12s. But a lot of that is probably actually, as I said in the one video and in my column, that those things are the things that those are what the facade that hid the cracks in the program, in the foundation, because Texas sucked and Oklahoma State could never get over the hump themselves, and they still haven't. You know, they right now Oklahoma State has every opportunity to step forward and take control of this conference, and they're not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, but and it was the same back then. You know, and there's no way. Those are the little things that, you know, when you win just enough, even if you're not beating those teams in the playoffs, and a couple of times it was pretty damn embarrassing. But then you think about it, the teams that they lost to, aside from Georgia, all 4 of their playoff trips, they had the one loss to Georgia, which they lost the championship when Tua came in, but they were winning. But I feel like OU would have won that game. They would have beaten Alabama that year. Now,
they should have. Yeah.
Aside from that, though, the teams they lost to were the national champs. Alabama won it that year with Kyler when they blew them out in the first half.
Yeah.
They had to go up against Burrow and LSU. That's probably the nastiest freaking college team I've ever seen.
Dude, that team in like the 2001 Hurricanes, Miami.
Yeah.
Those are
exactly
2 of the best teams I've ever seen.
Well, think about their offensive guys that are in the league right now.
Oh,
they're unbelievable. And I'm not even talking about Burrow. There's plenty of other guys that were
Jamar Chase, Edwards-Helaire.
Yes, unbelievable.
Yeah, dude.
So I mean, with Jamar Chase and then the other receiver too. Oh hell, I always forget his name too. But
Randy Moss Jr. or whatever.
Well, he was on. I don't know if he's in the league or not, but he should be.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, man, it's just a crazy deal. Like that was definitely one of the best teams ever. Then they lost to that Clemson team with Deshaun Watson and them. They won the national
Justin
title.
Jefferson.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Was he
That's
the
the
other
other
one
one.
from
Yep.
LSU?
Yeah, and he's with Burrow in Cincinnati now. So, they were in the Super Bowl last year.
All right.
And they could have won that Super Bowl. They were close.
That was a good one.
So, I mean, what a good that's the thing is you lose to them and then you lost to Deshaun Watson and that Clemson squad against, and I mean, I think that was Baker's first year quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, what can you say? they got beat by the best teams, but it's not fun to have watched what they did. It's not fun to see that and see them get plastered like that when they get to the playoff. But the fact of the matter is they got there, and those things are what kind of covers up those obvious issues that are now coming to a head now that a bunch of the team went with Lincoln. And again, that's something else to think about is the fact that 44% of that roster turned over.
Yeah.
And the entire coaching staff.
See, that's what I mean. I didn't look at that stuff when I drank that Kool-Aid. I was like, down the hatch we go.
Yeah, listen, I mean, and that's the thing. When you've got 44% of the roster turning over and you have, the entire coaching staff, once Kale got fired or whatever, basically, that was it. That was all of the coaches. So it's a whole new ball game now.
Right.
So,
it is, man.
It's just, but again, I don't know. If I feel like if they were to go 7-5, even 6-6, I mean, what can you say? If they don't go 4-8, that's fine.
Right.
But I heard the blue dude from West Virginia earlier saying that they were going to beat Oklahoma. I was like, you're out of your mind, dude. Get out of here. Freaking West Virginia. Y'all trash. Get out of here. West Virginia trash. All right. So yeah, A&M. Good old. Hey, listen. Hey, folks, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you could be a freaking Aggie. Okay, you could be an Aggie fan. 3-4, and with 5 years of Fisher in there in top recruiting classes, and you're 3-4. If it gets to that, then yeah, you can call for BV's head. But right now, don't. Just stop it. All right. Missouri in the SEC, Missouri takes out Vanderbilt, but just barely, 17-14. 45-20, as we talked about, that LSU score over Ole Miss. Poor Pirate got smoked today, 30-6 by Alabama, and then of course Tennessee doing that. Getting back to the top 25, taking a look there. You had again number 2 Ohio State, 54-10 over Iowa. Tennessee blowing out UT Martin, 65-24. That Clemson Syracuse game, I think that's going to end up having some implications down the line as well. You've got 30-6. I just jumped backwards. Never mind. Yeah, I think you're going to end up having some implications on that stuff because of the fact that it's just with Clemson doing that. There's no way they should keep this guy in. He's been trash all year. So then you got, again, of course, TCU down 28-10. They score 28 unanswered to knock off Kansas State and go to 7-0 on the season. Pretty much, I mean, is there any other team do you see them losing down the stretch? I mean, they've got Baylor left and they've got Texas left. I think that pretty much they ought to be clear to the championship game at least, TCU. So
Baylor beat Kansas today.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off of Kansas today. Yeah, they beat the brakes off them too, didn't they? Oof. Yeah.
Couple touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, they were up big for a while too. So yeah, then Wake Forest, obviously big win over. They go to 6-1 at number 13. They're 43-15 over Boston College. Penn State 45-17 over Minnesota. They kind of ran away with that one. Minnesota was looking good early in the year, but again, I feel like the Big Ten is trash, man. I just do. And I tell you something else. Cincinnati, I think they're underrated here. Being at number 21. They lost the first game of the year to Arkansas on the road, and they haven't lost since. They had to hold off SMU, but they were in Dallas. but it's 29-27 win for them. Luke Fickell might be top 2 or 3 coaches in the country too. You know what I mean? I was surprised that they didn't really give him a look.
Yeah, that's who I was hoping for, not Grant Venables.
Fickell. Yeah. I like him, man. I think he's good. Tulane, number 25, Tulane. You know, they last team to beat K-State in their house. They win today over Memphis 38-28. So, yeah, that's your top 25 scoreboard there. Still have, I believe, a couple more games going on in the Pac-12, maybe, probably in the Washington is currently beating Cal 6-0 at the half. That's pretty much the rest of it as far as those games are concerned. Fellas, Bobby said, guess all those bags ATM throwing to recruits can't buy them a W. I'd agree. And again, for anybody who's an Oklahoma fan who's having a hard time with the fact that they're losing the way they are or have lost the way they have, just remember you're not an Aggie fan. Okay.
For real. You got to get up in the middle of the night, sing some chant just to get your ass beat the next day.
Was that some weird shit or what?
Weird.
Was that some weird shit?
Super weird.
When I saw that on Twitter and that one guy was talking about, yeah, man, I was getting looked at. That was so crazy. Well, what is this, Sean? Oh, here comes old Sean Holiday. Don't do it, Sean. Don't start with me, bro. Here's another guy that's always busting my chops, dude. Always. Don't start, bro. Hey, thanks for the microphone stuff though earlier today for what you were saying. I was talking to Sean here on that. Appreciate that, Sean. Don't bust my chops right now. All right. Stanford, I don't care about that game. Pac-12. That's
the Cardinal. You don't care about the Cardinal?
Not. They won today to go to, I think, 15. They're now 3-4. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Go figure.
Brian Shaw still up there coaching? I think that's Shaw.
He is, man, and that's a tough deal for him. I think that's a tough deal for him. So
I don't know what to think about him as a coach, man.
I think he's a good coach. I think it's just a matter of. I think the Pac-12 is trash.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's trash.
Been a lot of trash for a while.
And the way that they set the way that they set it up, that's why that their money is so their money is or their offer for the TV deal is so small for that very reason. I mean, even the Big 12, they've got a lot more going there. It's I don't know, man. It's just I really felt like the Big 12 and then they would have been smart to go ahead and Bobby says Pop Warner's better than the Big 12.
Bring in SC in Utah. That chapped some fans' ass right there.
I don't know why. I don't know why they. I mean, now I know that the Big 12 they were talking merger with them, and then apparently, it's the way that I think it's the way that all those guys out there in California kind of turn their nose up at it, and so I think that's what it amounts to. But to me, I feel like it's they should have probably merged for the sake of the Pac-12. But then with what Klyavkov was just acting like a chump, and so they pulled out of it. And Big 12 was like, you know what? We'll just get who we want.
Right. That was a move like, hey, we're scared, but we're not going to tell you we're scared.
They knew that they were screwed either way, but they didn't. What they didn't want is to be to where they had to do like be second fiddle to the Big 12 and be taken. And hey, Sean coming in talking about, bro, TCU is actually legit. They are legit, man.
They are, dude.
They are legit, and I tell you,
explosive.
They are.
Powerful.
They went from freaking down. I mean, they were down 18 today. They scored 28 unanswered, and hey, Lincoln's little brother can call plays too, bro. I could tell you
those
that.
wideouts are big and fast.
Oh, man. Dude, they've got. And that's who he was talking about. Yeah, man. QJ. Yeah, Johnston. Yeah, that's who you're talking about, Sean. I think so. Yeah, man, he's brutal good.
He's
He's a big boy. big old boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a little bit of speed too. So yeah, they're the real deal. Their running backs are good, and the defense is still really good. I don't think that there's anything wrong with them. That's why I was asking you, do you see them losing any of these games coming down the stretch? I could see them maybe losing to Baylor, but they beat Baylor last year when they weren't good.
Themselves if they get
You
lose.
know? So,
Both lines are super physical too, man. Like, they control the line of scrimmage on both sides, man.
Absolutely. They do. And I thought that Kansas State was going to give them a hard time, and I know that I think Bryce had I don't even know how that came through. Have everything shut off. It's weird. All right, but yeah, Bryce was like, man, I feel like Kansas State's going to win that, and I was like, I don't know, man, I don't. And they just call right back. Are you kidding me? I don't know where this is coming from, but I don't like it. All right. Well, anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and call this one anyway for the day, folks. If you're not already a subscriber, I know you guys that have been in our comment section. You are part of our subscriber base. I appreciate that. Share us with everybody else, and guys, if you've been watching this and you like it and you haven't subscribed yet, please become a subscriber. Hold on real quick.
All right, I got you.
Sorry, I had to say some curse words to that person that just kept calling back. I'm looking for Kevin. No, Kevin lives here, bro. All right, man. Night, fellas. I appreciate everybody, and hey, we'll catch you on the next one. You can stay right here for a second, Jagger. We'll see you on the next one. If you need gear, jump onto our website, hofmedia.us/fanatics, and you will be hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. Just click that button at the bottom of the screen, and as usual, just go ahead and shop like you normally would. We get a small commission. You get up to 65% off.
It's a good deal.
Bro, you got to be kidding me, man. Who? Who the hell is Kevin? Who is Kevin?
Kevin Sumlin. I'm looking for Coach Sumlin.
Hey, bro, this is Jason, and I'm on a freaking live screen, you jerk off.
That's Coach Sark. I thought these boys knew how to play football down here.
What the hell is going on, people? What just happened here?
Trying to find Kevin Sumlin.
And he said something about $6. I have a feeling this is somebody on the damn thing. Oh man, if I find out this is one of my viewers here, we're gonna have problems.
Oh, that's what's left owed on Kevin Sumlin's contract, $6.
$6? Yeah, probably. He's been, man, I don't know, man. That's crazy. Well, and then he got the job at Arizona right after that, and they didn't waste any time firing him from that one either.
Garbage. He should have just stayed as an offensive analyst somewhere.
I can't understand why this thing keeps ringing. Even I don't have the ringer on.
Well, we got to talk about Dion and.
Yeah, dude. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. All right, ask the question. Ask the damn question.
So, regardless of position, as a high school senior, would you rather play for Coach Venables or for Coach Deion Sanders?
Yeah, listen, I think that is a good that's a good question to have. And what I would tell you is, to me,
Deion, man, he knows he got it. He's got it, man, and just I know there's
Yeah.
just something about
Hey,
him that
well,
just draws
I'll
you
tell
to
you what the something is. It's bottom line is it's just this guy's still calling me, bro. Hold on, give me a second. I'm
You're good.
gonna
You're good.
block him real quick. I just want to block him.
Yeah, he just knows how to win, man. He like you don't have the career he has without like discipline and um, self will to win, like will to win and
Yeah.
structure, all that, man. Like you don't dominate your sport for that long and not have those things.
Listen, and here's the thing. What I was saying earlier, and when you asked this question yesterday, I think it's a great question. And whereas, does he have a ton of coaching experience? No. He coached a little bit in high school and
Right.
had his at his private school. But what he does have is this. He has, yeah, Sean. I bet you do wish you could freaking take credit for that, because this dude, he's always busting my chops on here all the time, and so I bet he does wish that he loves to troll. But this guy is really trolling. Whoever this dude is that keeps calling it, I had to block, and I'm sorry, folks, for all that. But I wish I knew who this was. In fact, I'm going to call him back when we get done. But so yeah, listen. What I think about this whole situation with Deion Sanders, and folks, I want everybody to kind of chime in on this one too. He asked this yesterday in Twitter, and I definitely felt like we should bring that up. Look, this guy, what Deion has done there, and it's not just what he's done at Jackson State. Even it's the fact that he has got the eyes of the entire country on Jackson State and the HBCU programs,
Yes.
all of the SWAC, all of the what the hell are these people, dude? Fritz Martin. Now I'm getting blown up. All of these guys are just flat. I mean, you've got guys like Eddie George is also coaching down there.
Oh
But
yeah, that's right.
the fact that, I mean, do you know who all he even got Mike Zimmer to go in and be an assistant, one of his top assistants down there at Jackson State. And he's got a bunch of guys that were just they were players in the league or whatever. And look, he got the number one recruit in the entire country, and pulled him away from Florida State. And the guy's a dog. Have you seen this dude, Travis Hunter?
That's the thing.
Have you seen this dude, Travis Hunter? He's
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
How did these people get my damn phone?
You know, Dion almost died last year, man.
What?
He had to get surgery done on his toe.
That was real? He almost died
real.
from it?
Yeah, that was real, dude.
I knew that he had a deal where he had gotten, he had to go to the hospital over it.
Yeah, he was in the hospital.
But I didn't realize that he was like going to die.
Yeah, he was almost dead, bro.
That's insane.
That's his will, dude. Like you would never think that because he don't talk about that. Because that's what the process has taught someone like him. It's like you only fear God, like you fear God, and that's it. You just
and like and the whole thing, that whole thing with Alabama State, that was a trip too because he was, that guy.
Oh yeah, I thought they were gonna throw down, man.
Yeah, dude, that was what a way that guy just kind of trolled his way into getting talked about a little bit. And I mean, I think they might have been the closest team to him so far this season.
Right.
And they only lost by like 16 or something.
Boy, Sanders' boy too. He's balling.
There's been a lot of people talking about him as a Heisman contender. Of course, you're playing it. He's not going to win the freaking Heisman in the SWAC. Right. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But that goes to question, and I'll ask it to you folks that are in there in the comment section. Tell me, what do you think about him as the head coach at Auburn, directly getting to compete with Nick Saban? I mean, I don't think that there's anybody I call before I call Deion Sanders if I'm at Auburn. No way. And in fact, any major program, if you want to win, I would call him right now. This is the only dude that I would.
What if he's like a head coach in waiting? Because Saban's not got but 5 years left. Him and Saban are tight too, man.
Are they? Saban threw his ass right under the bus.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? I thought that was A&M.
Yeah,
he was throwing her under the bus, but yeah. I don't know, but I know that Deion Sanders, he gets it, man.
He does. And
He's been
again,
around great
I mean,
coaches,
I thought that it was a good question to ask for Oklahoma people to ask, would you like to have him rather than yeah. He said
I was surprised,
Bobby
dude.
just says, I'm not calling him. I'm at his front door with the Brinks truck. I'm with you, bro.
Dude,
I would be too.
seriously.
If I'm at Auburn, I would be I would make sure he's coming.
And that's a
And I
great
don't care if you got to bring that athletic director with him that took him to Jackson State. Do that.
Right.
Do that. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Get him on. Let him bring him the whole coaching staff. I don't give a shit. Let him bring him on.
A natty will give a head coach 10 years. You know,
dude,
you win a national title, you got 10 years to your resume right there, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know? I just don't. And the thing is, I mean, like I said, I think that question was good in the setting that you posted it in about BV. I don't think it's really fair to BV because he's just not going to have that kind of recruiting clout. Now he is recruiting. He's still number 4. Texas has dropped to 6.
And, wow.
You know, I mean, I feel like he's obviously they know what they're doing recruiting as well. So I'm not, and I do feel like as a coach who knows how to coach it, that's fine. But what I really think is what I told you on the post yesterday. I don't think that has anything to do with being a head coach at a major college program. I think that you're a CEO.
Right.
And so it's not about and that part Deion's fine at. He doesn't need he's getting the recruiting down. He can get all those guys as recruits. And then he's getting plenty of great position coaches in there to get them there, you know? And so to me, I just don't see that you need to even concern yourself with that. But yeah, I think it's a great question, man. As I said, I don't think that and I heard that there was a lot of talk about that they were talking about him at Oklahoma last year.
Yeah, I heard that a little bit. And
I heard it. I mean, I even heard it on on Sports Center. They were talking about it.
Right.
So I think for sure that was a possibility. I don't know how much interest there was, and according to Deion, there isn't interest right now. I think that obviously it's as soon as he wants the job is when he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine at this point when he's doing, you know,
yeah. Yeah, we got lucky. We got Coach Venables. I mean,
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that
both great coaches, 2 different styles, totally different styles.
Yeah,
but very effective.
Yeah, and listen, man, definitely. And I think that Venables is working. He's got guys that who's that guy that he's been having where he's kind of he's a mentor to him and he's always talking to him about how he what's that guy's name? I was trying to remember.
Chavez?
No, Miguel Chavez it's an older guy, man. The guy that's always right there with him all the time. It's trying to remember his name. I think he's like a special assistant type of deal. I forget. I was reading about it, but
Schmitty wasn't Schmitty or no?
No, that's not Schmitty. It's but anyway, I mean, I know he's the strength and conditioning guy, and that's important to this thing too. These guys are not in the shape that they have to be in to play the kind of football that they're going to have to play in the SEC, which is why probably it is Turnip Seed. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Turnip Seed. Yeah.
Yep. From Alabama.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was smart, and I mean it's smart of him because he hadn't been a head coach, so. It's a smart way for him to go about it. And the thing is that I still would love to see him kind of just like the way if you're a head coach and you're an offensive guy where you call the plays, I would love to see I would love to see him go ahead and call the defensive plays too and do what he does on the sideline. Be crazy. I don't care. I think that would help. Just go ahead and do all that.
It's kind of like he doesn't want to piss off the crowd or fans or whatever because he's too flamboyant to be a head coach. But that's the thing about him.
What does that mean?
Passion. I know
what does that mean? I don't even know what that is. It doesn't even make
sense, right?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't even get that. I would rather see that. I'd rather see that and they win and then get their freaking blown out. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see.
They feed off that shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Players do.
Absolutely. And look at how many of those guys that have played for him at both places, Clemson and Oklahoma. will tell you they would run through a wall for the dude.
Mm-hmm.
They love him. Love him. You know what I mean? Whether no matter what, and it was always as a coordinator. So, it's
It's
crazy
like
deal.
the boys now are like stopping to take measurements of the wall before they run through it. Like they're thinking way too much about.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's again, that's what me and Bobby were talking about yesterday. Yeah, and he said I need more BV with a get back coach. I agree, bro.
Serious,
He needs
like,
to be. They need to be pulling him off the damn field, bro. They got to be doing it. Yeah, and that's fine. That's exactly what they need. But I understand that it's a difference. There's different things that you have to do, and he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. Sure. But again, even if he was being that guy, they weren't going to win the national championship this year. They weren't going to probably win the conference championship either. So, I mean, it's good that everybody gets to finally. Now, I wish some people would calm down a little bit, but all in all, you just got to know that this is the way it was going to be no matter what. So,
a lot of the fan base needed it, dude, just for a check, dude, just a real. Like a real check.
Yeah, a reality check.
Yeah,
a reality check. They
Seriously,
definitely needed a reality check. Get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I felt like that was the biggest thing was that the fact that they kept winning with Lincoln and his offense and these quarterbacks that they had, because in college you could do a lot with a great quarterback.
Yeah, that exact.
You can do it. True. But when you get to the playoff and you go up against a defense full of dudes that should win the Heisman Trophy probably, but will never, because that's not the way it is anymore.
Yeah.
But, when you've got, those Alabama defenses, think about that. And this Georgia defense is not the same defense that it was a year ago, and it's maybe better.
Yeah.
They don't have a great quarterback. They don't even have to play good offense.
Right.
And they're still beating the shit out of everybody.
Run for 200 yards a game and give up 17 points a game.
You're going to win.
That's formula for winning, man.
And that's just the thing. But like, it's great and it's fun to watch. And that's the biggest thing about Lincoln is that they're never going to not score points.
Yeah.
And he took the best part of the offense with him.
Right.
Caleb Williams, Mario Williams. I mean, he knew what he was doing. Yeah. And then he went and poached freaking dude from Pittsburgh too, the Biletnikoff winner.
Oh yeah, he's hurt too now.
Did he got hurt last week in that game? Huh? Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know if it was going to be at the end of it or not. But anyway, yeah, that was a great question. I enjoyed that. Just for the fact of because Deion is, I think that he's ready. And I think that, but it's all a matter of whether he thinks he's ready or not. It doesn't really have anything to do with us. And what we all think, but I know if I'm Auburn, I'm over there. And how significant, I think that he's the thing for Deion, and I know he said that it's important for him and for the black community down there, the HBCU community. But how huge would it be to show that you were the first African American head coach in Alabama at any major program at Alabama?
Right.
Right. Yeah,
that's big time, man.
Yeah,
it's in what's even crazier is it's 2022 and it still hasn't happened.
Yeah, but look at how long it took them to get a black quarterback there.
Right.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't even do that. I mean, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that story about what's his name? Oh man, he played at Tennessee, and
T. Martin.
No. It was way before that. This is back in like the 70s, early 70s. And he went to go talk to Bear Bryant. Bear Bryant was like, "Man, we'd love to have you, but we can't." You know what I mean? I can't do that. There's no way. Right. Yeah, if you want to play quarterback, go to Tennessee. They'll play you.
Right.
And he hated Tennessee, and he sent this guy over there and got beat by him twice.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, what the
yeah.
Go figure.
I will say this about Oklahoma to our fan base. Like, just relax. Like, OU hasn't got 900 plus wins by laying down. Like, we're dogs,
they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. I mean, you just have to have some patience.
That's it.
Have some patience, and it'll be fine. And again,
if
it turned into something like how it's been at Texas for the last 12 years, I get it. It isn't. Right. We're talking about it hadn't even been a full year since Lincoln ran out like that. So everybody settle down. You know, and I think that more people, Condridge Holloway, that's who I was talking about.
Oh,
My
okay.
man, Bobby,
Nice.
get a computer. I want you on the show with us.
For real, man. That'd be
So,
fun.
yeah, Condridge Holloway, that dude, and man, I watched that show, and that guy was a stud.
Hell yeah.
He got banged up pretty bad. I think he ended up being really good in the CFL, but yeah, he was a stud, man.
A lot of them black quarterbacks tore up in the CFL, man.
Well, look at Warren Moon.
Warren
That guy
Moon.
played for 10 freaking years in the CFL before he came and had a Hall of Fame career here.
They got like $100,000 passing between both. 100,000 yards.
Yeah, there's no way he would have. The passing records in the NFL are bullshit because Warren Moon would have destroyed them.
Destroyed them.
They would be untouchable if they'd let him play here when he came out of Washington.
In Houston.
Oh, bro.
God dang, that was nice to watch, man.
Dude, and then even after that, when he went to Minnesota, he was still disgusting.
Oh, yeah,
He'd been playing for 20 freaking years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Warren Moon was so good.
Ball. Real nice
he did,
ball.
man. That guy could rip it. And he didn't even look like he was trying. He just
dude.
Yeah, dude. That
like
guy
Randall Cunningham was like that too, man.
I liked Randall Cunningham too. He was
smooth,
a stud.
Boy.
He was real good. He was real good. All right. Now we are gonna have to shut it down at this point though. Folks, appreciate everybody showing back up here again. Bobby, I appreciate it, man. See, look at even from the comment section, you have contributed to my show. I appreciate you, my man.
Thanks,
Thank you
Bobby.
so much. And Jager, thanks a lot for coming on. I'm happy to join you again tomorrow if you're wanting me to.
Yeah, man.
But definitely, hey, folks, if you like what you're seeing and all the content that we put out for the entire week, don't forget to hit that subscriber button. And if you need some gear, hit our website, hofmedia.us/fanatics. All you got to do is just hit the button at the bottom of the page, shop as usual. Get up to 65% off just for using our partnership. Appreciate everybody showing up, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.